Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We are outside today, and if there's a goat in the shot, I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time controlling the goat. But I've had a few questions lately about whether or not I garden, and of course I do. No, Arwen, don't help. Sorry, we got a goat. She's helping film. So I've had questions about whether or not I garden, and of course I do, and I've been asked to share some of the ways I garden. That's why we've got a tire. Because one of my favorite things to do is to use old tires as planters. I love them. So they're really good for things like pumpkins, squash, anything like cantaloupe or honeydew, watermelon, things that are a nice big fruit, big, heavy, that you don't really want in the dirt because a pumpkin growing in mud can tend to rot a little bit. So it's nice if you have the pumpkin planted inside a planter but come out onto the grass. I love doing that. So my favorite thing to do is to use old tires that are just junked, that people just don't want anymore because they're no good, and I spray paint them and use them as a planter. So I'm going to show you how I do that. It's really, really easy. First, you want to get yourself a tire. Any tire works. Doesn't matter how big it is. The bigger it is, the more plants you can put in it. But really, any size works. You can even use bike tires. You just have to kind of glue them together with silicone adhesive and stack them so they're a little bit deeper. You do want something that is at least 3 to 4 inches thick. So if you are using bike tires, you got to stack them. This guy I don't have to stack. He's perfectly decent. Look at how big that guy is. He's fantastic. Ignore my brightly colored pants. So what I like to do is spray paint them first. So I've picked this really nice Ocean Mist spray paint, and this is going to be the bottom of the planter, so I'm not going to worry too much about spraying here. I'm going to go around and spray the top part of the rim. I'm just using a really pretty color. Follow the directions on the spray paint you buy. I'm just shaking mine. And make sure you pay attention to the temperature. Thank you, Arwen, for butting my leg. But pay attention to the temperature outside because certain paints don't cure very well at certain temperatures. It's a fine temperature out here. There's a slight breeze. We're good. Okay, here's my paint. I'm using just this Ocean Mist, I guess. See how pretty that is? It's a nice color. I don't need to spray the entire top because this is actually the bottom. I'll turn it over after. So just get all the areas that you can see. Go all the way around. So I will go all the way around. I'm not going to walk around and make you watch that. But go all the way around, let that dry, and then, follow the directions on your paint can for how long to let it dry before you can handle it. Mine's about an hour. So in about an hour, we will come back, flip the tire, finish spray painting it. All right, so we have flipped our tire over, and now we have cat problems. Hello, Moustache. Looking good. Yeah, you're going to get spray painted if you don't move. So we flipped our tire over. Now, this time we do want to paint the top of it. And there goes the goat. Yeah, hi. This is going to be great. I can't spray paint. You guys are white. You suck. Anyway, so we are going to apparently film a goat butt. Whatever. So now what we're going to do is finish spray painting. Guys! Thanks. So this time we are going to spray paint the top. So again, follow your can's directions. So you spray paint the top this time because this is going to be the exposed side. And then you spray paint everything else. So just go around, give it a nice good coat. Depending on the spray paint you're using, you might need 2 coats. I'm only doing 1 because this is just a tire. I'm just using it as a planter. So it's going to look great when we're done. You don't have to watch me spray paint the entire thing. Again, there's dogs barking and goats everywhere. And cats. There's cats. So we're going to skip ahead to when this is dry. Don't walk on it. Oh my God. This is not going well for me right now. Hi, Arwen. So we're going to skip ahead to when I have spray painted this and it has dried. Again, consult your paint manufacturer directions on how long it takes to dry. This one, before I plant, I want to let it sit 2 to 3 hours after I do this final coat, just because I want to make sure that paint is really well set. So we'll come back as soon as it's all set and we're ready to turn it into an actual planter. All right, so our planter is actually done. The paint is dry. I let it dry overnight just because it was getting kind of late anyway, and I wanted to plant probably tonight. So it didn't really matter if I didn't finish it last night. So now it's morning and Whiskey's in the way. Excellent, nobody needs to see the planter anyway, Whiskey. Don't get in there. So now what do we do with it? We have a tire that we've spray painted. It looks great. I know you can't see right now because there's a dog. Whiskey, move. Oh good, you got to see the dog's butt. Everyone needs to see a dog butt. So the first thing I'm going to do is not drop my shovel. Haha. I'm going to take a piece of cardboard, this is a pizza box, and put that inside it. Kind of put that in the middle. It just keeps some of the dirt inside. I'm just going to, there we go. So that when I fill it, if I decide to move it, I can pull it around without having all the dirt come out the bottom. All right, you can use any cardboard really. You can use Amazon boxes. I'm just using a pizza box because it happens to fit in the circle really, really well. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm not filling up the entire thing with soil because that is actually a lot of soil. This is kind of a deep tire. So I'm going to fill it halfway up with compost material. In this case, I'm going to use primarily rabbit manure from the indoor rabbits. Rabbit manure does not have to break down before you use it. You can put it on your plants immediately, unlike your horse or your chicken manure that you have to let break down. So I can use it pretty much the way it is. There's also some leaves and stuff. You can use any compost material you have as long as it's broken down enough for whatever it is. So rabbit manure doesn't have to be broken down. Horse, goat, sheep, chicken does. So just take whatever compost material you're using, put it in there, shove it in the corners. Doesn't really matter what you're using. You can use hay or straw. Hay or straw works well. You can use basically anything you have. There we go. And we're going to fill it up about halfway. The rabbit manure from inside. I'm going to fill it up about halfway. Make sure it's pushed all the way around. Cover up your cardboard completely. I need a little more. So remember, you can use leaves that are starting to decompose. You can really use whatever you like. Whatever you have, as long as it's not something like fresh horse manure or something like that, because that'll burn your plants. Excellent. So it's looking pretty good now. Now I'm going to put some soil. I just have some leftover soil from last year, so we're just going to dump that in there. There we go. And now you can get in there with your hands and just kind of push it down into the tire. Remember, you want to get all that soil underneath the rim because that's part of where you want your roots to go. Also, if you don't put it under the rim, you're going to end up with a problem later because your plants will fall in there. So, there we go. There. Perfect. So now that is ready for planting. I'm not filling it all the way up to the rim, to the very edge, because next year I want to add more material on top to refresh it. So I'm just going to leave it that way. Remember, we've got cardboard, then we've got a layer of compostable material, then we've got our soil on top. So after you've done that, you're ready to plant. Simple as that. You can do so many of these all around your property if you like. I'm going to do quite a few more here because there's actually quite a lot of abandoned tires in the trees. So I'm going to gather them up, I could probably make 8 or 10 more planters. I think there's about that many tires laying around. And once we've done that, we will have all these pretty, pretty planters. I am behind the vinyl shed right now because I want this planter to get partial sun, some sun in the morning, some sun at night. And in order to do that, I need to be out of the afternoon sun. So that's where we are now. That's why we're getting some morning sunlight, and we'll get evening sunlight. We will not get the full strength of the day because I want to plant some pumpkins in here. And planting pumpkins here, they will get really, really burned up if I put this out in the direct sunlight. So we're planting some pumpkins. Stay tuned for that. I will do that later. It'll be a lot of fun, a lot of good times. But right now, there's your planter. Very easy to make, a lot of fun. That's it for us here at Andersen Acres. We'll see you tomorrow.